My name is Michelle Cox, mindset coach, and I'm also the CEO of the Change Makers of East Texas. That's something that I've come to really think about is how compassion is like an incredible superpower. Oh, just take a big breath in and out when you think about compassion. What kinds of thoughts come to your mind when you think about compassion? Is there a particular person that comes to mind that you think, wow, that person is so compassionate? He or she just is always there to help people. They're always stepping in. You can count on them to fill a need when there is one. Maybe there's somebody that comes to mind, or maybe there's a movie or a song that just kind of evokes that feeling of compassion. So compassion, and I'll start out this as well from one of my favorite books in the world. This is Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown. Brené Brown, I'm putting this in the universe again. I want her to speak at summit number 5, right? 5 years from now, I want Brené Brown. So we'll have to strategically place that summit maybe in the Woodlands, somewhere that she can get to easily. She's in Houston, right? Um, so yeah, please go ahead and put in the comments where you're from. I'm glad you're here. But this is from her book, Looking at Compassion. And this is such a pretty book. It's not just intellectually boring. It's beautifully put together as well. So I highly recommend this book. It's all about emotions, talking about where do we go when we have different circumstances happening. This chapter is places we go with others. And so in this chapter is chapter 7. She covers compassion, pity, empathy, sympathy, boundaries, comparative suffering. So it's just a beautiful book. I love it. From the beginning to the end, I was just like, oh, pause. I have to think about that. Pause. I was listening to audiobook. Just pause. Write something down. It was amazing. And then, so I had to buy the book. That's how good it is. She says, compassion is fueled by understanding and accepting that we're all made of strength and struggle. No one is immune to pain or suffering. Compassion is not a practice of better than or I can fix you. It's a practice based in the beauty and pain of shared humanity. What a beautiful definition. So, compassion, how and why do I call this a superpower? So, when I think about compassion, when I think about emotions, I always think about what's the thought that, stirred up in the brain, or a belief that you hold that then sends a signal into your body that creates that experience of that emotion, compassion. Whenever we have a thought, it's our brain, sending electrical impulses around these neural pathways, and then your brain will trigger a chemical release that goes into your body so that your muscles might tighten up in certain areas. They might relax. You might sit taller. You might slump down. You might close up. You might breathe faster. Your heart rate might go up or down. Just all these physical results that we combine into a term of an emotion. So this is compassion. When I feel compassion, I tend to kind of close up a little bit. My heart might slow down, and you just want to listen. I think compassion does that. We want to listen. We want to look. We want to take in information. That's what compassion does in my body. Everybody's different. Every body is different. So I think that the more that we learn how to identify emotions, the more we are in tune with ourselves, we can be true to ourselves, to who we are, who we want to be, and the better we can show up in the world. So compassion, when you think about compassion, I invited you already to think about a person, get a face in your mind. A person you think of is so compassionate. That person who doesn't think, I'm better than you, so I'm just going to swoop in and fix this. Compassion is saying, I understand that's hard, and I'm here with you in it. You are the one to fix it, but I'm here to support you. I think that's compassion. It's a practice based in the beauty and pain of shared humanity. So, compassion, where does it come from? It comes from often a painful situation. We have compassion for someone who's suffering because we have experienced suffering. The superpower of compassion then helps to change the past that's been painful and hard for us into something of value. Because I went through something hard and painful, and I can identify it in other people, it has made me a more open and aware and expanded person. So I'm no longer just worrying about myself. Because I've had painful times, I can now be aware of other people. To me, this is the heart of community. When we have compassion within a community, then there is healing, there is bonding, there is connection. So pain is not a villain. Pain is just a natural result of life. We're going to have painful things that because they're unpleasant, there's pain. But when we look at that as the experience and wisdom that I'm gaining from it, and the way that it's helping me open up my heart to other people, now that painful experience of the past is no longer a loss, but something I gained from. So I want you to now think about an experience in your life that has been really painful and see yourself there. And imagine yourself coming across someone today who's going through something similar. What do you think about that person? If it's someone you know really well and you love dearly already, and you find out they're going through the same thing that you went through that was painful and hard, and you love that person, then that compassion just naturally rises up inside of you, and you want to express your love for that person and offer support. Now imagine seeing someone that you only sort of know. You're like Facebook friends because of you're in the same school or your kids are in the same group, but you don't really hang out otherwise. But you see that person posting on Facebook that they're going through something similar to what you've been through. That feeling can come up again for that person that you don't even really know very well. And that's what compassion can do. It can connect you to someone and then create an opportunity for you to build that relationship, to build a kindness and a love and an understanding to help support them. Compassion can go even further to where you could be watching the news. You could hear about some other person somewhere else who's is going through something that you've been through that was painful. And again, that feeling of compassion, if you open yourself up to it, it might be painful because you're thinking about the pain that they're experiencing that was painful for you when you experienced it. But at the same time, compassion can motivate you to want to reach out or even just pray for them or make a Red Cross donation, whatever it might be. That's compassion trying to go into action. And that's where compassion can help to heal the nation. It can heal our neighborhoods and communities. It can heal families. Compassion is truly a superpower. So how do we cultivate compassion? Because we could have some sort of block that prevents us from really opening up to the feeling, the pain of other people. The block could be resentment. I think resentment is often a major barrier to feeling compassion for someone. But then at the same time, look what compassion can do. to heal resentment that you might have for someone, because you find out that they've been going through a hard time, they're struggling, they're suffering. Compassion can come in and help you to resolve the bitter pain of the past with that person. You could then want to resolve differences or an old grudge. Compassion has that power. So I was teaching in a workshop yesterday at the Christian Women's Job Corps and talking to these amazing women who are putting their life in line with who they want to be and what they want to achieve. It's so inspiring to see them. And we're talking about emotions and thoughts creating emotions. And I said, it's funny because with compassion, can you stay angry at someone when you have compassion for them? So our bodies are amazing. Our nervous system is absolutely incredible. We can feel multiple emotions at once. That's how complex we are. We're amazing beings as humans. But oftentimes, and this is my theory, this is not like a proven thing, but this is my theory, that if we have compassion for someone, we can't feel angry towards them at the same time, or not as easily. I don't know. I really don't think you can. And you can tell me why I'm wrong. I don't care. I'll hear it. I love to hear. I love to learn from people. I'm totally willing to say, oh yeah, I was wrong. But when I think about being angry at someone, and also from this amazing book, Brene Brown talks about anger is rooted in a sense of injustice. So we have anger when we have been dealt unfairly, when something is out of line, someone's breaking the rule, they're breaking our boundaries, there's something we've been trespassed in some way. The anger, it doesn't mean it's wrong. And I don't believe that any emotion is wrong. Anger can be totally justified. I could feel very angry if someone came and started throwing rocks in my windows and shattering the windows of my house. I could feel angry and I would be justified. They had no right to do that. But I don't want to stay angry. That's not going to serve me, but my response might be first angry. How could you do that? That's an injustice. This is my house. You can't do that. So that's where anger comes from. Someone has wronged us in some way. Then when we want to heal that, if we take a look at the person who hurt us and why we're angry at them, why are they behaving the way they are, compassion comes in and allows us to become curious. Compassion helps us to say, well, why are they like this? Why did they do that? Is there something that has been just taught to them that that's how they should be? Has no one really made it clear, this is a boundary, you shouldn't behave that way, you shouldn't treat someone that way, that's not right. You might find out they were having a really rough time and their own nervous system is activated, so then they're going to take it out on innocent bystanders going by, and you happen to be that one. It could also be it's more calculated, and people can be really cruel. But I do believe that when you start to have that curiosity, when you start to open up your heart to compassion, I feel my whole body just relax. I don't know if you feel that too. When I start to think about, what are they going through? What a loss for them that they've behaved in this really cruel way when they could have behaved better. They could have lived a beautiful life being kind, but they've chosen a different path. How sad that they missed out on really being an amazing, kind, and loving individual. And then also compassion can help us to reframe things. Maybe what someone said wasn't intended to be harmful, and we were already activated in fight or flight mode and just totally misunderstood, completely misinterpreted. Or with our kids, how often are we already tired, we're depleted, and we feel angry at them because of their own behavior that's causing us to do more work. They've made a mess. Now I have to do more work and I just want to sit down and relax. Or I'm angry because my child lied to me or they didn't come home on time when we had, so again, that injustice. I'm the parent. I should be obeyed. They should do what I ask them to do. And so there's that feeling of injustice, then anger could come up. If we want to heal a relationship, then we have to see, take that step back and become curious, calm that nervous system down. Take those big breaths, because literally calming your body calms your brain. And then you're able to say, get back in the thinking and reasoning part of your brain and say, what's going on with them? Something's up with them. What could I do for them? Or maybe I need to set a firmer boundary and just say, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to interact with that. That's the power of boundaries. But the compassion is not just for them, it's also for us. When we shift out of anger or resentment and choose to try to look at someone else in a more humane and dignified way and allow the compassion to come up and soften our hearts, maybe if that's needed, then we get to heal. We get to feel better. Dr. Mark Brackett is an expert on emotions as well, and he has a really awesome diagram. I'll have to post it. He talks about how, emotions can be categorized like in a 4-way chart. You have some emotions that are high energy and very pleasant, like excitement, euphoria, joy. You can have high energy emotions that are very unpleasant, like anger. It doesn't feel good to be angry. It's just, our too long in anger can really harm our body. And then you can have the low energy, positive emotions. Oh, just feeling calm and peaceful. And compassion, I think, would be over there. And then you have the low energy, unpleasant emotions. And that's where depression is, and discouragement and despair. I really do believe that if we are kind of stuck in one of these low energy, painful emotions, or even a high energy one, that we can generate compassion by choosing a different way of thinking about the situation or the person. Figure out, what is that thought that I would need to create that feeling, even open the door just a little bit to have compassion for that person. It might even just be that sorrow that they chose to be a harmful or abusive person. You can feel sad for them. And that can help you to then, get rid of any responsibility that you don't own for their behavior. And then compassion allows you can have compassion for yourself. That compassion for yourself then says, it's okay. I made mistakes in the past. I didn't know any better at the time. I didn't know a better way to manage the stress I was feeling. Compassion for yourself brings that feeling of safety back into your nervous system too. And when we feel safe, then we're able to rest, we're able to digest. So often we have digestive problems that is directly tied to the stress, the thoughts that we have, remembering the past, stewing over it, or anxiety about the future can all affect our digestive system. So literally calming your body can help all the systems in your body and help to reframe and redirect your thinking into a way that's actually going to serve you as a whole complete human being. So I don't know. Let's see. I've got a couple comments. Joanne, thank you. I agree and true. I don't know if anybody else wanted to say anything too. Like these lives are very informal. They're very just like, here we are. We're together. We're having a little community chat. So if you do want to have a conversation, you want to get online and get on the call. Let's see. Okay, I'm losing battery power though. Because I've been out of power at my house, I've been like charging my phone and my laptop at the generator. It's just been like slowly charging up. So I might not have much battery left, but, and of course I left my charging cord in the other room. But if anybody wants to make comments, like, what are your thoughts about compassion? Like, I'd love to hear, who is someone that you think of when you think of compassion? And what special person, who are they in your life? How do you see for yourself that taking on a new thought, a new way of thinking about somebody or a circumstance can help create that feeling of compassion in your body? The answers are in you. I can come up with all kinds of examples and scenarios and possibilities for you as a life coach, but the great and amazing thing is that it's your body generating that compassion. It's your body that generates anger or resentment. And there are thoughts attached to that. So if you want to change that feeling from resentment and anger into compassion, then you have to think of it. You have to think of that thought. What's it going to be? And that's the power that you have. And that's something that I just find absolutely marvelous and amazing and so exciting is that we can change the way we feel by changing a big part of it is changing the way we think and believe about a situation or a person. Today, here's your life coaching practice, your exercise for today. Look at yourself in the mirror today. Okay. Think about the thoughts you've been carrying around about yourself today. Some of them have not been very compassionate. Some of them have been maybe harsh and critical. So I want to invite you to go to the mirror today. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say to yourself what would help you feel compassion for yourself. It might be something you would love to hear someone else say to you. If someone would just say this to me, I would feel so good about myself. The good news is we don't have to wait. We can do it for ourselves. Whatever thought is happening up here in our brain is going to create that feeling in our body. So we can do it now. We can decide right now, create a new way of talking to ourselves, a new way of thinking about ourselves. The more you think something, it's like sedimentary rock, layers upon layers of these thoughts. This one particular thought, the more you think it, the more it solidifies and becomes a belief. So if you want to give yourself that compassion, I am a learning and growing person. I'm learning and growing in my job. I'm learning and growing as a parent. I'm learning and growing as a partner or a spouse. I'm learning and growing in my career, in whatever it is that you're doing, in a housekeeper, in how to take care of a yard, how to fix something that broke, plumbing, I don't know. I'm learning and growing. Then you give yourself space to make mistakes. It's okay. That's where compassion comes. It's okay. We're in the beauty and pain of humanity for ourselves and then shared with others. All right. So thank you, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this little conversation about compassion. And I would love to hear from you. I want to hear from you. What did you say to yourself? What was your compassion thought that you came up with? What was your mantra that you can say to yourself, looking in the eyes? That's hard to do sometimes. Like, put all the shame away. What can you give yourself that will create compassion for yourself? It's so much easier to then have compassion for others when you're giving it to yourself. Okay, so there's your assignment, and I want to hear back from you. And I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of the day. See you later.